So Gary, thanks for joining us. Now, obviously for our reference, as an ex-York City player and ex-Hull City player, what are you up to these days?
Basically, I work for a sign company, D-Signs, who, on my side, specialise in football advertising and production of the boards around the grounds.
And you're still playing football?
Just barely, yeah. I've signed for my local team, North Ferriby, in the Unibond, so yeah, it gets me about and keeps me reasonably fit. But it's not quite, it's not the same as playing football every day.
So you were released by York at the end of last season. Was that a disappointment for you?
Yes and no, really. I knew it was time to do something else. That was, I had a couple of injuries, sort of reached 31 and struggled with a bit of fitness. I had a couple of other offers from football clubs, but decided that it was time to sort of opt out of football and try my hand at something else. So, here I am now and still involved with football somewhere along the lines.
So last season was a very difficult time for the club and its players. It must have been probably one of the worst seasons that you've had in the game.
Funny enough, actually on the pitch it went quite well. We had a reasonably successful time. People thought, other clubs, and I thought, York was going to be an easy kind of game last year, and I think we surprised a lot of people. Was in the top kind of six for a big part of the second half of the season, and then, but obviously financially it was very very difficult. But I've been. This seems to be the kind of thing what you get used to now in football. Sadly, it's a thing of the game.
Now, it was a contentious decision for the club to appoint Chris Brass, obviously being a very young man. How do you think he's doing?
Fantastically well. A lot of people expected him to kind of fall flat on his face, but he showed people. And to be fair, as a player who played alongside Chris, we kind of knew that was what he was destined to do anyway. The type of character he is. He's a good organiser and a very influential member of the team.
So obviously we're down here today at the KC Stadium at Hull City. As a former York player, it must kind of make you feel a bit sad that York don't have something like this.
It does, yeah. I mean, I imagine there's not another 50 clubs that are thinking like that, though. I mean, this rivals, anything in the Premiership or the First Division. Hopefully, one day York can have a new stadium. I don't know how it stands with their situation, but hopefully, they can turn it around and have something, maybe not on the scale of this, but something near it.
And what are the main highlights of your career? Obviously, now you're coming to the end of it. What are the things you remember that stick out in your mind?
Winning the odd game now and again. No, even the FA Cup run at York we had a couple of years ago when we reached the fourth round and we knocked out a couple of First Division teams and had a good run, and basically just there's games you remember, and I remember I have fond memories of every club I've played for, but also you have kind of disappointments, but the good things far outweigh the bad things, which is pleasing to know.
Now, when you used to play for Hull, you used to play at the rather ramshackle Boothbury Park. I bet you wish you were playing now.
Yeah, exactly. I was disappointed when we played York here when it was first opened, and I actually pulled my hamstring about 3 days before the game, which would be my last chance and only chance to play here. So I never say never. Ferriby might play here one day. I don't know, but it's disappointing to miss out on such a great stadium. But that's those things really.
So finally, thinking about the main event this coming Saturday, what do you think is going to happen? Hull City versus York City.
Hull are playing ever so well. I've watched the last 3 or 4 games at home, and they played very well. But York have got a pretty good record defensively. I've obviously said that because one of my best mates is still defender there. So Darren won't mind me saying it, but he's going to have his work cut out on Saturday. But I think a 0-0 would be the best York could hope for. I think that's. I'll plumb for a 0-0. Sit on the fence.
Well, fair enough. I reckon we're going to win, but there we go. Thanks very much for your time, Gary. It's nice to see you.
No problem. Thanks a lot. Cheers.